So, AI video creation. As you might have seen, AI video agents, automations, platforms are just popping up everywhere. And I've been using and building a lot of them for the past few months. And in my honest opinion, I have come across a couple of shortcomings that have led me to not really use these agents or automations for myself in my day-to-day lives. The biggest ones are, the first one is most of them do not produce good quality results that are usable. And the second one is a lot of them don't have involvement of the user, which is myself, during the creation process. And that's kind of led to this disconnect, as well as the quality of the final generation not being good enough, along with not much control over what's going on during the process, has really led me to not use most of these tools or platforms. So to solve this problem, I've been trying to build an AI agent of sorts that can be a hybrid of an automation and kind of a work with human approach as well during the process. So we can have some say, we can have some back and forth with the agent during the creative process. And once we finalize the process, or we finalize idea, then we trigger the automation. Our agent understands this whole process, and it knows once we approve something, it can trigger that the automation of this workflow. So it's kind of a hybrid between autonomous plus a little bit of a co-pilot sort of workflow. And I'm going to get to the details in a little bit, but I want to show a few generations firstly out of this system before we move ahead, so you can know what sort of quality and what sort of outputs we are looking at here. So if you can see on the screen, you can see a few generations out of our system, and you can see the quality, the cohesiveness of the generations, and how these can be used to actually produce a final really good polished video out of them. And each of these have been totally generated out of our workflow, and we have built it so we also have a say, we also have a back and forth with this agent at the start of this automation. And once we approve of a concept, only then it goes ahead to the automation part of the workflow and does everything automatically. Alright guys, so now you're going to be seeing the whole agent in action. So we're going to be starting right here, and I'm going to tell you where to input and where do you give it all the information about your product, about your brand. So right here in this input required info node, in the beginning you put your product URL that is publicly accessible. This is going to be the image of your product that you want to be used by the agent. And then you have a description in which you're going to describe the product in the image, what the image is of and what's in there. And then you have a brand name and guidelines, pretty self-explanatory about your brand, anything you wanted to know about your brand, color palette, any specific information about it you wanted to know and use for the videos. And then you have an idea theme, that idea or some thing that's in your mind that you want it to follow and create concepts based on. You can just write anything here, just raw dump concept in here, and it will understand it. Then you have a name, it can be anything, and then you leave these blank. So now you go back, now you have all the info saved in here, as well as in this other node, which is exact copy of this one. I'm going to show you why it's necessary to have this node as well, but it's pretty simple. So now we're going to start the whole workflow. We're going to click on test workflow right here at the bottom, and this will kick off the whole thing. So what this master orchestrator agent is doing, it has access to this another agent, which is a trend researcher. So what it does is it can search the internet, and it's been configured to find trending ideas, trending topics that can be used in a video, that we can use the concept, or we can subtly reference that in our video. So it's going to give us some of the concepts it founds on the internet, and then it's going to send us an email for approval via this human approval node in here. I'm sorry, it's called something else, called a human in the loop node in n8n. So it's going to ask for approval, and we're going to we can also give it feedback. So right now the system doesn't only take yes or no for approval. It can take feedback and it can adjust its output based on the feedback. So this is how the whole route works. So once you approve or disapprove, we go to another agent which determines your response, and it then switches based on if you approve it or if you disapprove it. If you approve it, of course, we're going to move ahead in the pipeline to the next scene preparation part of the workflow. If you don't approve it, we're going to be going down this pipeline once again, and it's going to feed back into the same agent with the feedback and with the previously generated concepts. So we're going to see that in action. So right now, as you can see, we are in the Gmail node. That means we are asking for approval right now. So as you can see on the right hand side, my inbox, I have received an email asking for approval. So this is what our agent has sent us. So it sent us all the concepts, and I'm just gonna maximize this and make it bigger. Alright guys, so these are the concepts we got in the email from our agent. So as you can see, it gives you a title and it tells you, what the summary, what it's about, and how it relates to a trend. So it's this concept loosely comes from a global surge in post-chaos optimism, right? Trade truce, investor bounce back, and all the tariff and all the trade war stuff that's going on in the world. And the next one is inspired by cultural nostalgia and vibrant pop revival trends. A Barbie comeback. I don't like that one, but yeah, but that's one of the trending things, right? A trending idea. Not so much actually with Barbie, but it's one of those. And the third one, as you can see, is it emerges from, it's just some trend, right? So we're gonna respond, right? The first one might not be good, and that's the whole point. So you can respond. You click right here, and it's gonna open up a form for you that you can respond with. So right here you can write, I don't like these ideas. Let's find some more popular, more global, and just more recognized ideas that can hit, and that can be popular with the majority of audience. And submit. So we're going to give it this feedback, and if we go back to our agent now and have a look at it, as you can see, it went back to the master orchestrator agent, and let me maximize this, and now it's going through the motions again. So this is now getting our feedback as well, and it's understanding that, okay, this previous concepts got rejected, now I have to work on these based on the feedback, and now it's going to present me the whole concepts again. So let's see what we get. Alright guys, so this is the new email we received with a new set of ideas, and I quite like these ones. So as you can see, the first one is with lunar landing, so the recent private astronaut going in space or whatever. It's kind of based on that, but it is a trending concept, so I like that one. And this one is based on climate and environmental resilience. And this third one is based on 2025 Global May Day. And, it's trying to promote these, signify unity, support, and share sense of clarity and action. So if we don't like any of these, we can again say, and we can, at this point, I'm starting to think about some of the trends I might want it to, use. So I'm going to say, okay, let's respond to this. Let's say, there's a lot of wars and a lot of conflict happening in the world. So let's say, based on the wars and everything happening, let's make it about peace, right? Let's make the whole thing about our brand and connecting it to peace, maybe showing the peace symbol or something. So we're going to respond it with that. So actually, I don't like these ideas. So I just like to talk to it. Oh, okay. Can we actually make a few concepts about the promotion, about just you know, promoting peace in this world of chaos, in this world of wars and conflict happening at so much higher rate at the moment. Give me some best concepts that we can promote peace. So I'm just going to submit that. It was pretty raw. I did not, write it well, but that's a real world scenario, and let's see how it deals with that. So this is the third time I'm going back and forth with it, and that's the whole point of this agent, right? So you can have a back and forth conversation, and you can see right here. So it's going back to the master orchestrator, and it's now going to take that feedback once again. It's going to understand what it gave me, what concept just gave me, and it's going to now revise and give me new concepts for approval based on what I said, right? So let's see how well it follows our instructions. But I just want to show you right here, as you can see, it is running for quite a while. As you can see, 18 items have been sent back and forth to our large language model, and 13 items have been used by this Think tool. So it is good, it's working, it's thinking about stuff, and it's doing what it's supposed to do, and it's acting as like a assistant to us, right? We are sending it out to do research and present concepts to us, and then we tinker with them, and once they're done, we will approve of them. So let's see what it sends us now, and then we're going to approve one of them if it looks good. So over here we are in the Gmail node, so we should already have received an email by now. Let's have a look. So let's go to our email right here, and there you go, we have another new email. I think I opened the wrong one. There you go. So there you go. So peace between worlds, okay? Ultra minimalist for peace, two opposing sides of chaos and darkness. Clear-head can. This is not bad. Concept visualizing how a single peaceful act can send waves of harmony. Okay, so let's just, for the sake of it, we're gonna just do a random one. So we're gonna respond and just approve one of the ideas, and we're gonna see how our agent responds. So I approve idea, or I approve concept 1. Submit. So now let's see what happens in our automation. So now, as you can see, it has moved past the human in the loop node, and it's going to the concept director now. So what the concept director does is it's now configured to take in the idea, to take in the brand context, the product information, the product image, everything, and it's going to now create separate scenes to bring that idea to life. So I have shown this in my previous video as well, in the marketing automation, which is a basic version of this. I kind of stopped it right here so you can actually see this thing in action. So what it does is, I'm going to show you the output of it right here. So this is the output. So it intelligently kind of understands the tools we're going to be using for video creation, the whole process, and it tailors all these scenes according to that process. So I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So for the scene number 1, it creates a video generation prompt, a prompt for an image that's required, and then it also does that for each of our scenes. So now what we're going to be doing is using this prompt to generate an image, and then use that image along with the product image and along with this prompt to generate the final video. So it understands this process very well in its system prompt. It understands the tools, the feasibility of what we can create, what we cannot create, which is very essential. And then it, uses those constraints to generate these prompts, the scenes, the image prompts, and everything. So I had to work quite a lot. I had to do a lot of back and forth and a lot of generations to get these quite right. So, it generates good looking, high quality stuff. And it could use a lot more work as well. It could be tailored for different brands and all that. So we're going to see it right now in action. So right now, as you can see, we are at this point, and we are now going through this process. So once it has generated all that data, now it's going to go through this process. Right here is the pipeline where it's going to decide whether each of the scenes we have, the 4 scenes that we have for the videos, will all of them require an additional image to be generated. If so, it's going to go through this false pipeline right here. If it doesn't, it's going to go through this one. If it does require images, it's going to go through this one right here, and it's going to go through our generate images and generate all those images. And these 2 pipelines are going to merge at this node. So we're going to be playing it until here. So we can kind of run that whole data through these nodes. So as you can see, it's going. And now over here, it sent an API request for all those images to be generated at once. So now we're going to wait for about 6-7 minutes for those images to be generated. And then we will see the rest of this workflow. Alright guys, so that ran through, and as you can see, we have collected everything at this merge node right here. So after this, we have a code node. So we generated all the images through this HTTP request. Then we got all the URLs of the generations, and we collected all of them over here. And what this code node does is it prepares the body that will be sent to the video generation. So the body has to have the correct URLs in there, the correct the correct text prompt, my apologies, for that particular video to be generated, and it has to do that for each of the scene. So it has to understand which scene will contain which URL, the image that's been generated, as well as which scene will use the product image or will not use the product image, right? So that's what it does. So over here, I ran this node, and it generates these bodies, as you can see, for each of the API requests. And then when we run these, the API request will be sent to generate those videos. So let's run this one. Now we have a wait for 8 minutes, and then we will get those URLs back of the generated videos. So let's give it some time, and then we will see the rest of the process. Alright guys, so that finished running the video part, and now as you can see, we have this node finished running. So we have gotten all the URLs of the videos right here. So now what we are going to do, our automation is going to extract all those. So I'm just going to go back, and as you can see, this part right here is the audio part. So this pipeline will generate music for a video, and this pipeline right here, this is a separate workflow, it will generate a narration. So the narration right now is not being included with the final video, because sometimes for the polished final version, editors have to adjust the sounds or the narration to line up to the clips. So we want to give it that freedom to the final user, whoever is using this automation, so that they can use those components separately and create the final video themselves if the outputs are not, the final polished version, which is the case with most of the AI workflows, AI platforms, AI automations these days. So that's why I have taken that in consideration, and always given these assets, these B-roll, or these these secondary assets that can be used to create the final video. So a workflow like this, if you run a couple of times, you'll have all these assets that you need to produce a final video based on this concept, whatever you want. So I'm going to show you, actually let's just run this part of the workflow as well. So, alright guys, so once you run the whole workflow, in the final node you will get your video like this, and you can download it. So I'm going to show you what we generated for this one right here. Let me just maximize this. So it's pretty good. One of the clip, this one, it did not get right, and that's what I'm saying. There are few flaws in any automation or any agent from time to time. but you know, it did pretty well in my opinion. And some of the shots are like pretty crisp, pretty good. Like, look at this one, and even this one. So yeah, that was it. And also I'm going to show some of the other generations on the screen right now, so you can see what generations we are getting from different products, and I got during my testing of this whole agent. But it works pretty well most of the time. And if you really need a sidekick, a really agent that you know can integrate into your workflow on a day-to-day basis, I think this is what a creator needs. They don't need something to replace them. They need something to work side by side to help, you know, generate these things to bounce ideas off of. So that's what I've tried to build here, and a much more enhanced and improved version can be built as well, and I have something in the works as well. So yeah, let me know if you found this video exciting, if you've got any value out of it, and if you're building something like this as well, feel free to reach out. If you want something like this built for your own business, or if you want access to this template, this automation, I have my link to the school community in the description. You can go ahead and join and get access to this automation and all the other automations I have built that are available on my YouTube channel, and several other ones we have that we have been selling and working with businesses and supplying them with these automations. So please feel free to check that out. The link is in the description. If you want to work with me, and if you want something like this or a custom automation built for your own business according to your own SOP, according to your own workflow, feel free to reach out, book a consultation with me. The link is in the description. The consultation is free right now, so feel free to do that if you would like to have a chat. Otherwise, thank you for watching.